Welcome to our audiobook of The Courage to be Disliked. In this transformative dialogue between a philosopher and a young man, authors Ichiro, Kishimi and Fumitake Koga unravel profound teachings about freedom, happiness, and the courage to be your true self. This audiobook will guide you through breaking free from societal expectations and self-imposed limitations, offering a path to a more authentic and fulfilling life. Prepare to challenge your deepest beliefs and embrace a liberating journey towards self-discovery and personal growth. Chapter 1: The Invisible Armor. Welcome to the first chapter of The Courage to be Disliked. Today, we will explore the concept of the invisible armor. Often, we live to please others, hiding our true emotions and desires behind a facade built to fit into society. This invisible armor protects us from judgment and criticism, but also imprisons us, preventing us from living authentically. Imagine you are like an onion, with layers of expectations and social norms wrapped around you. Each layer represents a belief or fear adopted over the years. The fear of not being accepted, the need for approval, the concern about what others think. These layers form your invisible armor. It's time to start peeling off those layers. This process is neither easy nor quick, but it's necessary to reach your authentic core. You will realize that many of these layers don't even belong to you. They were imposed by society, family, or your own insecurities. As you begin to strip away these layers, you will discover a new way of being that is truer and more honest. The first layer we will peel off is the should-be layer. This layer is made up of all the expectations society has of you. From a young age, we are taught to behave in certain ways, follow certain rules, and fulfill specific roles. But what happens when these expectations do not align with who you really are? You feel trapped and alienated, as if you are living a life that isn't yours. To start peeling off this layer, ask yourself, how many of the things I do daily do I do because I really want to? And how many do I do because I feel I should? Reflect on your answers and start questioning those self-imposed obligations. Do you really need to fulfill all of them? What would happen if you chose not to? The second layer is the fear of judgment. This fear can be paralyzing, making you doubt every decision you make. But what if you decide that others' opinions do not define your worth? Freeing yourself from the fear of judgment allows you to make decisions based on what you truly want, not on what you think others expect from you. This is a crucial step towards authenticity. The third layer is perfectionism. We live in a culture that glorifies perfection. But the reality is that we are all imperfect. Accepting your flaws and mistakes frees you from the burden of perfection and allows you to live more authentically. It's not about settling for less, but recognizing that perfection is an unattainable goal and that it's okay to make mistakes. To start peeling off this layer, begin to accept your mistakes as learning opportunities. Instead of punishing yourself for every failure, celebrate the effort and progress you've made. Remember, every successful person has failed many times before succeeding. This is a natural process of growth and learning. Remember, the goal is not to rebel against everything and everyone, but to find a balance where you can be true to yourself while coexisting in society. Authenticity is not about rejecting the outside world, but integrating your true desires and emotions into your daily life. Throughout this book, we will continue peeling off these layers, one by one, until you reach your true self. It's a journey of self-discovery and courage, where you will learn to embrace your vulnerability and live without the armor that has protected you, but also limited you. As you progress, you will find that authenticity not only frees you, but also attracts people and opportunities that resonate with your true self. Chapter 2: The Key to a Fulfilling Life. In this chapter, we will talk about the key to a fulfilling life. We often think that happiness comes from accumulating achievements, material possessions, or others' approval. However, true fulfillment comes from within, from living a life aligned with your own values and desires. The first key is accepting your imperfection. We live in a culture that glorifies perfection, but the reality is that we are all imperfect. Accepting your flaws and mistakes frees you from the burden of perfection and allows you to live more authentically. It's not about settling for less, but recognizing that perfection is an unattainable goal and that it's okay to make mistakes. To start, reflect on your imperfections and learn to see them as parts of your humanity. Don't punish yourself for your mistakes. Instead, learn from them and move forward. Every imperfection is an opportunity to grow and develop as a person. The second key is self-discipline. It's not about imposing rigid rules on yourself, but finding a balance between freedom and responsibility. Self-discipline allows you to stay focused on your goals and live according to your values, even when it's difficult. It's the bridge between your desires and your actions. Developing self-discipline requires practice and patience. Start with small steps, establishing daily routines that bring you closer to your goals. Over time, these routines will become habits, and self-discipline will be a natural part of your life. The third key is courage. Living a fulfilling life requires the courage to face your fears and make decisions that may not be popular or easy. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. Every act of courage brings you closer to your true self and allows you to live more authentically. To cultivate courage, start by identifying your fears and facing them gradually. Each small step forward will strengthen your confidence and help you build a braver and more authentic life. Remember, every brave person has also felt fear, but has chosen to act despite it. Finally, the fourth key is gratitude. We often focus on what we lack rather than appreciating what we already have. Gratitude helps you shift your perspective and value the small things in life. It's a constant reminder that, although life is not perfect, there is always something to be grateful for. Practice gratitude daily. Take a few minutes each day to reflect on the things you are grateful for. This simple habit can transform your perspective and help you find more joy and satisfaction in your daily life. These four keys, acceptance of imperfection, self-discipline, courage, and gratitude, are fundamental to living a fulfilling and authentic life. It's not about achieving constant happiness, but about finding a balance and inner peace that allows you to face challenges with an open mind and heart. Chapter 3. Breaking the Cycle. In this chapter, we will explore how to break the cycle of thoughts and behaviors that keep us trapped in an unsatisfactory life. Often, we find ourselves repeating the same patterns over and over, expecting different results. To live a fulfilling life, it is crucial to identify and break these cycles. The first stage in breaking the cycle is awareness. Without recognizing our patterns, we cannot change them. Observe your daily habits and thoughts. Is there any repetitive behavior causing you discomfort? Maybe you always find yourself in unsatisfactory relationships or struggle with procrastination. Identifying these patterns is the first step toward change. Once you have identified a pattern, the next step is to understand its origin. Many of our behaviors are rooted in past experiences and deep-seated beliefs. For example, if you constantly sabotage yourself at work, it might be because you don't believe you deserve success. Reflect on the experiences that may have contributed to this pattern. This is not about blaming the past, but understanding it to free yourself from its influence. The third step is to challenge your limiting beliefs. These are the beliefs that tell you that you are not good enough, that you will never succeed, or that you will always be rejected. Challenging these beliefs requires courage and persistence. Whenever you find yourself thinking negatively, ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do I have to support this belief? What evidence is there against it? To break a cycle, you also need to replace old habits with new ones. This can be difficult at first, as our brains are wired to follow familiar patterns. However, with time and practice, new habits will become automatic. Start with small changes that you can maintain. For example, if you are working on improving your health, begin by adding a piece of fruit to your daily diet, instead of trying to change everything at once. Another powerful tool for breaking cycles is visualization. Imagine what your life would be like without the negative pattern. How would you feel? What would you do differently? Visualization can help you stay motivated and reinforce your commitment to change. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing your life free from these cycles. Finally, seek support. Breaking cycles is not easy, and you don't have to do it alone. Talk to friends, family, or a therapist who can offer guidance and support. Sometimes, an outside perspective can help you see things you can't see yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Breaking the cycle is a continuous process. There will be days when you take steps backward and days when you move forward. The important thing is to maintain your commitment to personal growth and be kind to yourself in the process. Every small step counts and brings you closer to a fulfilling and authentic life. In the end, breaking the cycle is about taking control of your life and living according to your deepest values and desires. It is an act of courage and self-love. As you continue this journey, you will discover greater freedom and satisfaction in your daily life. Chapter 4. The Power of Saying No. In this chapter, we will talk about the power of saying no. Learning to say no is an essential skill for living an authentic and fulfilling life. Often, we feel compelled to say yes to everything out of fear of disappointing others or missing out on opportunities. However, saying yes to everything can lead to burnout, dissatisfaction, and loss of identity. Saying no is not selfish, it is a way to protect your time, energy, and well-being. When you say no to something that doesn't resonate with you, you create space for things that truly matter. The first step to learning to say no is to understand your priorities and values. What is most important to you? What activities, people, or commitments bring you closer to your goals and make you feel fulfilled? To start practicing saying no, begin with small things. It might be declining an invitation to an event you are not interested in or turning down a request you can't handle. As you become more comfortable, you can say no to bigger things and more important situations. Remember, every no you say is a yes to something more meaningful to you. It's important to remember that you don't need to justify your no. Often, we feel the need to give long explanations when we decline something, but a simple no, thank you is enough. If you find it difficult, you can practice phrases like "I'm sorry, but I can't commit to that right now," or "Thank you for thinking of me, but I have other commitments." Another key to learning to say no is setting clear boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining your emotional and mental well-being. Identify your limits and communicate them assertively. For example, if you need alone time to recharge, let the people close to you know. If you have a work schedule to stick to, be firm about not taking on additional tasks outside of that schedule. Often, we feel guilty when we say no, especially if we are people pleasers. It's important to remember that taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is necessary to maintain your health and well-being. Guilt is a normal emotion, but it shouldn't dictate your decisions. Accept that saying no is part of maintaining a healthy balance in your life. The power of saying no also lies in creating space for opportunities more aligned with your values. When you fill your life with commitments that don't satisfy you, you don't have the time or energy to pursue what you truly desire. Saying no is an act of self-care and self-affirmation. It allows you to direct your energy toward what really matters. Finally, surrounding yourself with people who respect your no is crucial. Healthy relationships are based on mutual respect and understanding. If someone can't accept your no, it may be a sign that the relationship needs to be reevaluated. Surround yourself with people who value and respect your boundaries. Saying no is a skill that strengthens with practice. Don't get frustrated if it feels difficult at first. Over time, you will feel more confident and empowered to make decisions that benefit you. Remember, every no you say brings you closer to a more authentic and fulfilling life. Chapter 5: Radical Acceptance. In this chapter, we will explore the concept of radical acceptance, a powerful tool for living a fulfilling and authentic life. Radical acceptance is not about resignation or passivity, but about recognizing and accepting reality as it is, without trying to change or fight against it. Radical acceptance begins with oneself. Often, we are our harshest critics, judging ourselves for our mistakes and flaws. Radical acceptance involves embracing all parts of ourselves, including our imperfections. It means saying, "This is who I am, with all my strengths and weaknesses, and that's okay." To practice radical self-acceptance, start by observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. When you catch yourself being critical, pause and take a deep breath. Remember that everyone is human and it's natural to make mistakes. Try to speak to yourself with the same compassion and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Radical acceptance also extends to life circumstances. Often, we find ourselves resisting situations that we cannot change, causing unnecessary suffering. Radical acceptance doesn't mean that you have to like or approve of the situation, but it means recognizing that it is the reality at the moment. By accepting the situation as it is, you free yourself from the stress and frustration of fighting against the inevitable. A useful tool for practicing radical acceptance is mindfulness. Mindfulness helps you stay present in the current moment, observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. You can practice mindfulness through meditation, conscious breathing, or simply paying full attention to your daily activities. Being present helps you become more aware of your resistance patterns and allows you to choose acceptance consciously. Radical acceptance also involves accepting others as they are. We all have people in our lives we wish were different in some way. Maybe you want a friend to be more reliable or a family member to be more understanding. Radical acceptance doesn't mean tolerating bad behavior, but recognizing that you cannot change others. By accepting people as they are, you can improve your relationships and reduce conflict. Another aspect of radical acceptance is accepting the past. We all have events in our lives that we wish we could change. However, the past cannot be changed, and holding on to regrets only prevents us from moving forward. Practicing radical acceptance of the past means acknowledging that what happened, and that we cannot change it. We can learn from our experiences and move forward with wisdom and compassion. Radical acceptance is not a one-time process, but a continuous practice. Every day, we face situations and emotions that require acceptance. By practicing radical acceptance, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and find greater peace and satisfaction in life. In the end, radical acceptance is an act of self-love and self-affirmation. It allows us to live in harmony with ourselves and the world around us. It is a powerful tool for building a fulfilling and authentic life, where we can be who we truly are without fear or judgment. Chapter 6. Living without regrets. In this chapter, we address the theme of living without regrets. Throughout our lives, we make decisions that, in hindsight, we wish we had made differently. These regrets can be a source of pain and frustration, preventing us from fully living in the present. To begin living without regrets, it is essential to change our perspective on past mistakes. Instead of viewing them as failures, we should see them as learning opportunities. Every decision we make, good or bad, has brought us to where we are today and has taught us valuable lessons. The first step is to make peace with the past. Reflect on the events and decisions you regret the most and ask yourself what you learned from them. Often, our biggest mistakes are our greatest sources of growth. Accept that you did the best you could with the information and resources you had at the time. The second step is to practice forgiveness. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you have made and forgive others for any harm they have caused you. Forgiveness does not mean condoning bad behavior, but freeing yourself from the resentment and bitterness that prevent you from moving forward. It is an emotional release that allows you to live with greater peace and clarity. To live without regrets, it is also crucial to make conscious and responsible decisions in the present. Ask yourself, is this decision aligned with my values and goals? Am I acting out of fear or out of love? Making conscious decisions helps minimize future regrets. The practice of mindfulness can be a powerful tool in this process. By being present and aware in each moment, you can make decisions more aligned with your true self and deepest desires. Meditation and daily reflection can help you maintain this mindful presence. Another key to living without regrets is accepting the uncertainty and impermanence of life. We cannot foresee all the consequences of our actions, and challenges and setbacks are inevitable. Accepting that life is uncertain, and that we will not always have all the answers allows us to be more compassionate with ourselves and our decisions. Finally, to live without regrets, it is essential to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Appreciate what you have in the present and recognize the blessings in your life. Gratitude helps you focus on the positive and value each moment, diminishing the weight of past regrets. Living without regrets does not mean that we never make mistakes, but that we learn to see those mistakes as an integral part of our growth journey. By making peace with the past, forgiving ourselves and others, making conscious decisions, and cultivating gratitude, we can free ourselves from the weight of regrets and live a more fulfilling and satisfying life.